morning, friends. It is I, Paige the Puppet, with my mama and Shawn Boston. You'll notice that Shawn Boston is presently bald, but by the end of this episode, this final live episode, he will not only have hair on his head, but he will also have his trademark pompadour from the book. Hello, live viewers. Thank you so much for joining me. As you can see, Mama is presently sewing together the wool for his head. We had it together, but then she figured there was something that we could do was just a little bit better. So in this episode, what you're going to see is his hair coming together. You can see last night we put on some ears. Mama's showing you the ears. So he now has ears. And ears means that he can wear his sunglasses and he can wear earrings if he wanted to. I don't know from the book whether he's really an earring type of guy, but he could wear them if he wanted to, if it was the cool thing to do and the influencer thing to do. So that is what's going on right now. Is basically she is doing the sewing, and you can see that it's on the inside out of the fur. On the other hand is his fur. I'm actually going to just put, Mama's going to just put a little bit of hair on his head so he doesn't seem so bald. There we go. Has a hairstyle now. But it's not the hairstyle he's going to end up with. No. So yeah, we are just going along. I am so excited. Do you like his build? He is so, Mom is very, very excited about the way he turned out. He's like way better than he even looked in our imaginations. Because Mama has mostly done puppets that don't look like humans. This is only her second very human looking puppet that she has constructed. Her first puppets were all like monsters and fluffy things and kind of, just generically like me. Like, you can't tell what I am. Like, everybody knows I'm a girl, but I don't look like a normal person. You know what I mean? Like a human. Like, Shawn looks very human. Very, very human. A little bit of an overstuffed human, maybe, but human nonetheless. But we know that he is an influencer in his life, in the story. And he's almost too cute to cancel, I think so. So she's just finished. She's going to take that head off. So we're going to take the fuzzy part off of his head, and she is going to pop this inside out. And we are going to, oh yes, this is the way. So it fits nicely around his ears. And we have it all good around his ears. And there we go. What we're gonna do is just brush it a little bit. Where's the brush? Mama knows where the brush is. We'll brush it just a bit so we can see exactly where it goes. So that will get cut in the next stitch. Now, this next part may be slightly alarming for young viewers, but just assure them that there is nothing that is actually, and nobody is actually getting hurt in this process. Mr. Shawn is not going to feel this next step. It's kind of like surgery, so you don't have to worry that he is being hurt by this process. If you do have young viewers out there that are watching along with you, because we know that some of you have little kids. Not all of you. Some of you don't like kids, and that's okay. I don't think Shawn likes kids much either. I don't think so. We'll find out when he begins to talk. As you can see, he is still developing his own personality based on the book. Oh, look at that. Mama's trying to thread a string that already has a thread in it. There we go. Stinky string. So there we go. Now that the wig is on his head, Mama's going to go in and she's going to start right by his ears. And she's just going to start sewing and sewing the wiggy that we made to the head. Now, the difficult thing Mama says about this part is making sure that his long hairs doesn't get in the way of the threads as we're putting them in, because that will look kind of awkward if his hair gets stuck in there. Now, it is true that he is going to get a haircut, and some of this hair is going to be cuts. But he needs to keep a lot of it for his pompadour. So there we go. We're just going to tuck that in there and continue along, trying to make sure that we are staying in line with the pin on top of his head, which indicates the very center. So have you been watching much of the anti-MLM stuff lately? I have been watching Your Morning Guru. I watch that every morning. And today Savannah Marie was on, and Griffin was so cute. Griffin is her baby, her youngest baby. I think she has the neatest names for her babies. The neatest names. There's a sparrow and there's a griffin. And that is kind of neat. So as we go through, I know there are no live viewers watching, but I thought that I would take the opportunity to say thank you to all my fans out there. I am up to 132 now, and that is very, very exciting. I will be going back to my regular videos very, very soon. As you can see, Shawn is just in the final stages of making. And so rhymes with so. They are spelled the same. They sound the same, but they are spelled differently. That's called a homonym. I think so, yes. Yes. Sometimes people say that what you learn in kindergarten isn't very useful, but I learned lots of things that I think are useful. So here we go, just sewing around. She has to sew around the whole little wiggy that she put together. If you watch the last video, you'll see that we used felt to create the pattern so that it would go on his hat. However, Mama made a little bit of a boo-boo in the direction of the fur. And so she has had to work a little with that to make sure that it will turn into the proper pompadour. She feels that this is a very important part of the construction, as it was part of the story, and it was one of the really identifiable features about Shawn Boston that we could really describe and latch onto as a reader. Like, what does he look like? This is the imaginings of what Mama thought he would look like. when it comes down to reading the story. So if you haven't read the story, you should definitely take a look for it on Amazon. It's on Amazon.com. There we go. He has, it appears, Mama made a little bit too much of a sideburn on one side. She thought she was making this exactly the same on both sides. But it seems to be that there is a slight variation as we get over to this side. But that's okay. We deal with that as we go. And we're getting closer. We're getting so close to him being a completed character. Uh-oh. Papa got this red on his eye. It's a good thing that can't happen in real life. It's a good thing this isn't the way they replace hair in real life, too. Can you imagine somebody sewing your hair into your head? It's a good thing we're puppets. It's a good thing. So as we go along, Mama is just stitching and stitching, making sure that the long hair stay out of the way as she stitches, because she for sure does not want to get his long hair fixed in there, even if some of it is going to become shorter as the process continues. There we go. Or maybe if she turns that way, then you can see a little bit better what is going on. There we go. Now we're going to go around his ear with this. And again, she is really trying to make sure that she doesn't get any long hair stuck in there, because that will make it difficult. Now she is going to have to turn Mr. Shawn towards you, and you won't be able to see this part very well, but she also doesn't know how to do this without turning it towards her. So you're going to just have to imagine what's happening on this side. It's pretty much the same thing that happened on the other side, but we are just, oh, she needs to brush now. We can show you this part maybe. So she's about that far in, and she needs to brush the hair out of the way so that she can I noticed there is no viewers out there right now to ask me questions, so I will have to try and figure out something to say. Mama got the part in his ear and she doesn't want it there, so she's going to have to make a little snippy snip in his ear to fix that. There we go. And of course, for those of you who are not interested in watching the whole live, Mama will be editing a wrap-up of all the construction and talking about some of the other things going on in his construction. So if you have any questions that you didn't see answered as you were watching, be sure to get them to us. And if you don't want to watch it all in the long form, you can definitely watch it when it is coming out in the short form. They say short form content is very popular on the YouTube and stuff because of the TikTok. And so Mama has to learn a little bit better about short form content because she talks too much and makes things too long a little bit sometimes. But we hope that you don't find this video too long because it is just how long it takes to process, you know? It is really just that. Okay. We are almost there with getting his hair done over the top part. But you know what? We still have to get him in the bottom part. Oh, you saw Mama's lips move. Yeah, I guess it's no secret. But we like to not do that. But sometimes she gets caught up and she doesn't look at the monitor and see that she is messing up. And Mama is actually going to, she don't want that going all the way to his face. That's too low. So she is actually going to pull back on the last few. Okay, Mr. Shawn is going to have to lie down for a moment so that we can do this cut to his hair that doesn't match. We need to get the cutting board out so that we don't hurt the table underneath. There we go. And that works. So now that we have that cut off, we will do the next part and just get that rest of it right there. So set him back up. Move the cutting board out of the way and all the fuzzies. Oh, there we go. She's putting the fuzzies away in a safe place. Oh, she needs some refueling, some coffee. That's Mama's go-go juice. She says that she cannot exist without coffee. I don't know whether that's true or not. She went 15 years before she discovered coffee. But it's been a long time since then. Uh-oh. Here we go. For those of you just joining in, we are just in the process of attaching Shawn Boston's hair to his head. And it is taking a bit of snowing. Uh-oh. Here we go. Oh wow, it's been almost 20 minutes since we started doing this. It's going to take a little while longer, folks. little while longer as we get going. Okay, as we get going, as we keep going. Okay, just trying to do this so you can see what's going on as we go. It's not the most thrilling thing in the world to watch, but it is necessary for the process. And it is important that it is secured very good, especially as he goes on tour and he's going to go out in public, and we'll make sure that his hair stays good forever. This is the first time that Mama is working with this kind of fur. She's read very many, not read very many, but she watched the videos, especially those by Adam Krutinger. He had a really good one on how to do hair. He didn't do this process on the screen though, not the sewing part to the head, which probably because it's a fairly boring thing to watch and it doesn't go very fast. But I thought this would be a good opportunity to come out and talk with my friends and my fans, even if it is really obvious that Mama is the talker. And you know this dude is going to have some serious case of bad head if he does not use the proper products. He's going to have. I wonder if the Monehans are going to be after him for his gorgeous hair. They'll be like, you can tell everybody that Monet made your hair this beautiful, and it will not be true because it is needles and thread and lots of talking that is actually making his hair the most beautiful. I'm so excited about the next part where we are going to turn it into the pompadour. We've got lots. Yeah. Mama is not good at haircuts, generally speaking. But she has watched several YouTube tutorials. I hope you guys are hearing me okay out there. I know I'm talking a little softly right now because Mama is trying to concentrate on making sure that Mr. Shawn's hair is just perfect. He will be very upset. I think so. He would be very upset if his hair is not just on fleek. That's a word he would say, I think. Uh-oh, Mama is encountering a bit of a problem in that she made it. So it's not fitting just well. So she is going to put a knot in what she is working on. Finish that. And then she's going to adjust the other side of his head. So So what she is doing is just trying to find a space where it would be appropriate for her to make a little stitching so that we can fit that nicely on his head. Mr. Shawn is going to have a little bit of a cowlick. Yeah, Mama says that is horrible stuff that goes up the nose. Thank you for your patience. We are getting there. We are getting closer with every minute. We can actually, and afterwards, we can speed this up a little bit. This is real time, people. This is real time. So, yes, I feel that it is taking a little longer than could be interesting. But you could always scrub forward if you are a little bit bored. Feel free, scrub forward and find out where the more interesting parts happen. This part is not so interesting, but it's very important to the whole process. So we are, that was not a big enough knot for Mama to complete this task. Oh. Okay, this process is not going to work the way she thought it would. Again, Mama is working hard behind that head to make sure that she's not capturing any of these long hairs in there so that they can be really good looking when she is done. Okay, and we are going to have a little bit of a cowlick in his head because we've made an error somewhere in the process. And now she has fixed his cowlick so she can continue along with the normal sewing. And so, my friends, this is getting to be the final stages. This will be the last time that I'll be on my channel doing a live build narration as Mama builds the puppet. This will be the last one. Because after his hair is fixed, we only need to fix his hand. One of his hands was not perfect. So Mama's going to perfect that before she gets this off. And he goes to live in Chicago or New Orleans. Okay. he lives in Los Angeles, but I think so, yeah. Was that how it was? I'll go back and read the book. Maybe we should have done this part off screen. It's kind of boring. But I don't find it boring, but you might to watch it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. But what I do know is we're almost done this part of the process, and the next part's gonna be a little more exciting. Because I will be styling of this. Now, in some cases, if you wanted a puppet that had changeable hair, you could always just skip this part and maybe put some Velcro on it or something to make his hair change, or your puppet's hair change, rather, because, of course, you won't be making a Shawn Boston. He's the one and only, well, other than his brother, who's kind of happy. But, anyways, we'll keep that for later secrets. Okay. Oh dear, I'm so sorry that I put you through this process. But as you know, Mama doesn't like it when I show her on the screen talking for me. Haha. My secret is out. Uh-oh. See what she was saying about getting those long pieces in there? That's what she's trying to avoid. Even though, technically, in this area, all of this will be getting cut to make his proper haircut. And as you can see, Mama is just sewing. It's sewing. Right now we're working around this ear, which is a little bit finicky and detailed because you don't want, and we don't want, the ear to be too blocked by his hair, because otherwise he won't be able to wear his sunglasses properly. We need to keep the ear nice and tight. I mean, it needs to be out from the body and the hair needs to be in. Mama has a lot of editing to do of my pictures. As you can see, her hands are presently busy with making of Shawn Boston the Puppet. And so she has not been doing the editing for my videos and making me talk and say the things that are so inspiring. But they are coming back. They are coming back to this channel very, very soon. We were planning to do that today, but I think we will not get it done till tomorrow. Just because we wanted to go and have some fun today to celebrate the finishing of Shawn Boston. I also have an interview with Jazz coming up. If you know from the Early Morning Guru, she was born last week to Sally. And yeah, so okay, look at that. We now have, so we're gonna try and first pull all his hair to the back. And we're going to decide whether he is going to need, yeah, he's totally going to need that. So we have a separate piece here that Mama has chosen so that she can really make his pompadour pop, is the whole idea behind that. But what we're going to do first, we're actually going to do 2 layers in the front. Now that will help to make his head pop, but we're going to do 2 layers of that. So we're going to cut, first she's going to cut this in 2 pieces instead of the 1 piece that we had originally designed for. Okay. So now we have those 2 pieces, and we're going to put them back to back in the front. So this is going to require just a little bit more sewing as she puts them together. She's actually going to put them together less so, because we do a sewing from the insides. So we're going to do a sewing from the insides. She's going to get the needle and thread. So today in the world, it is Thursday, and you might be watching this on a different day sometime in the future, but today is, yeah, Thursday, and we're doing this. And you can see that Mama is just getting this thread ready over there so that she can do the sewing, putting it together. Oh dear. There we go. Now the reason she is doing this is because in the book, Shawn Boston has a pompadour that is like legendary, but in some specific scenes, he wears his hair down too. You know, I'm not doing the fancy. So what Mama is trying to do is make sure that his hair is capable of doing the fancy and the not so fancy. Now, this is a little bit different than if you have a puppet who has a static hairstyle. If they have a static hairstyle, you can use some Elmer's glue and a little bit of water, and that will make a beautiful gel. But because we are not going to be able to do that, because he needs to have the different hairstyles, we're going to make some hair that can be a little bit versatile, more versatile, certainly than my hair is. Although I can always have Mama make me a new wig if I really wanted to. I wonder what I would look like with brown hair like Shawn's. Do you think that I would look good with brown hair like Shawn's? I am wondering. One of the beautiful things about being a puppet is that I can experiments. Of course, Mama experiments with her hair too. She has been purple and she has been blonde. Purple is always her favorite. Purple has been her favorite for a long time, but she has had her head purple and pink and blue. She is working very hard on getting it to be just the right shade of gray right now because she is ready. She wants to be the wild warrior wise woman. But she thinks that it needs gray hair for that. So that's what she is doing. She is working on making her hair gray. Of course, it is already gray at the natural spots, but she dyed it for so many years. So many years. You can't even believe how many years. Just a long time. Okay. Oh, she got a loop-de-loop again. A loop-de-loop again. There we go. And I am thinking of hiring my friend from the Savvy show, Gail. She did the what's it called? Oh, the theme song. The theme song. She did the theme song for them, and I am going to see about getting one for me too. But I don't know. Mama has to earn the money to afford it, and it is actually a very, very reasonable price. She was very impressed with the price for that talent, and I am very excited about making that be one of my next purchases here for my channel. Do you like to have shows that have a theme song? Some, I know YouTube shows, they don't have a theme song, but I kind of like them. I think they're cool. Or do you think you have to be a podcast to have a theme song? Because I'm not really a podcast. I'm just a YouTube puppet. Okay. Here we go. So now you see, I have put that there. Now what I'm going to do, Mama's going to do Roger, because we're still pretending now. If you're watching on the replay, I apologize for not talking as much as I usually do. I am just really excited about seeing how all this process goes, and I get mesmerized by the process. Getting it all just right, and we're so close, so close to the end now. Oh, that wasn't important. Mama checked it. It wasn't too important. What Mama's doing right now is looking for the seam so that she can make sure that she attaches it right along the part where it's supposed to be. She doesn't do this part. It might make it difficult to do the pompadour when we get there. So right now she's looking for the stitches. Finding the stitches in Shawn Boston's hair. That's where she's brushing it like that and looking so that we can connect it right where it needs to be. And that's very important in this part because we don't want that part to show through too much. Now let's just measure to see. We're going to put it right in here. Now we're going to do the connections. We're going to hide that somehow. No, it'll hide. So this is the final stage of adding hair before we start subtracting hair. Because to have a proper pompadour needs the short hair on the sides and the top. We keep a little bit of space there, but not too much. As we go through this. Uh-oh. I just got it. See, there's literally blood, sweat, and tears in here. That's what Mama means. Literal blood. Okay, there's no real blood there. It's just a stabby stab. Mama's gonna turn. And just a little. So she can get this right. I can certainly appreciate that the camera angle might not be the best for this to see the details of what's going on. But it is just pretty repetitive as far as the stitches go. Just putting it right on the line so that this part is perfect. What you can do is add a hair without. Uh-oh, it got caught around his eye again. So glad that can't happen in real life to realize. this might not be the right and perfect technique for putting hair onto a puppet. It is the way that Mama figured would work best for the style of hair that we want Shawn Boston to have. And there we go. The final stitches going in. Oh, maybe not the final stitches. Mama missed a few. Okay. Go. And I will put a timestamp afterwards that will take you directly to the styling of the hair, so everybody can skip this part if they don't want to do that. There we go. Oh my. Okay. Now, end it off with a nice, tight, invisible knot. And there we go. Ta-da! Okay. There we go. So we're just going to give this a quick brush. Give him some style. And wow. Then what we can do is when he wants to have his pompadour, we simply slick it up and give him a little bit of curl. There we go. He's got that styling. Okay. Oopsie. Now, one does have to be very careful with brushing a puppet's hair. Now, this is a piece of string that got in his hair, so we're going to snip it out because we don't want that interfering with his hairstyling in the future or even in the present. Now what Mama is doing is separating his hair, and you know what we have discovered? We have discovered that she did not bring her hair cutting scissors into the room. And it has been a long time and she kind of needs a little break, so you know what? We lied. It is not the last. It is not the last. We are going to go offline and come back later to finish the hairstyle. Oops, the best laid plans of mice and men did not work in this instance. There we go. You can slowly start to see the definition of style. Got a Jimmy Neutron look to him, huh? Okay, that's him for now. Oh, I see that there is a live viewer out there. Mama forgot to bring the scissors into the room. And so we are going to take a quick break and come back in maybe about half an hour to finish his hair. Okay? So that's what we're going to do right now. Please be sure to leave a like if you have liked this video of us putting his hair and attaching it to his hat. It's all attached now. Now all that is left is the styling. As you can see, we need to do some hair cutting in here and make sure that his style is just the bestest, because he is going to be the bestest. Oh, there he is. Okay, we're going to go do that, and we'll be back. We lied. I guess it's not the final one, because Mama has to go and find those scissors. So hopefully, if she doesn't find them, we might have to go to the store to find them. But look, we need to fix all that. Look at all these fuzzy hairs coming out. We could probably vacuum too. Till next time, we'll see you next time. Next time, we will definitely finish Mr. Shawn Boston and finish his hair. Okay, till next time. Bye-bye for now. Bye, friends.